Welcome to the Collection Functions Guide. In this section, we'll explore various functions that allow you to create, manipulate, and manage collections of data in Engini. Whether you're building arrays, determining their length, or retrieving specific elements, these functions will make handling collections more efficient. Let's dive in and see how they work. If you navigate to the Functions tab, you'll find multiple categories. Today, we'll focus on collections functions like CREATEARRAY, ARRAYLENGTH, GETARRAYELEMENT, and more. Each function comes with a detailed guide for easy use. Let's start with the CREATEARRAY function. This function creates an array from a set of provided values or the results of expressions, allowing you to manage multiple data points within a single collection. For example, if we use CREATEARRAY with the values Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it will return an array containing these 3 days of the week. Let's test this by creating an array of days. After running the function, the array is returned just as expected. Let's move on to the ARRAYLENGTH function. This function returns the number of values in a provided array, allowing you to determine the size of your collection. For example, if we use ARRAYLENGTH on an array with the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, it will return the length as 4. If the array is empty, the function will return 0, indicating no values are present. Let's test this by checking the length of an array. The result is exactly as expected. Let's move on to the first function. This function returns the first element from a provided array, making it easy to access the initial value. For example, if we use the first function on an array containing the values Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it will return the first element in the array, which is Friday. Let's test this by retrieving the first value from an array. After running the function, the result is exactly as expected. Let's move on to the last function. This function returns the last element from a provided array, making it simple to access the final value in the collection. For example, if we use the last function on an array containing the values Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it will return the last element in the array, which is Sunday. Let's test this by retrieving the last value from an array. After running the function, the result is exactly as expected. Let's move on to the join function. This function concatenates all the items in an array into a single string, using a specified separator between each element. For example, if we use the join function with a backslash as the separator on an array containing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it will combine these values into a single string, resulting in Friday/Saturday/Sunday. Let's test this by joining the items in an array. The result is exactly as expected. Let's move on to the GETARRAYELEMENT function. This function returns a value from the provided array based on a specific index or expression result. Remember, the index count starts at 0, not 1. For example, if we use the GETARRAYELEMENT function on an array with the values Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and provide the index 2, it will return Sunday, the third element in the array. Let's test this by retrieving an element from an array. The result is exactly as expected. Let's move on to the GETPROPERTY function. This function retrieves a value from a provided object based on a specified property or expression result. For this example, let's initialize a new object called person with the following fields: name, age, and occupation. If we use the GETPROPERTY function on the person object and request the property name, it will return the value associated with that property. In this case, it returns Yuval as the person's name. Let's test this by retrieving the property of an object based on its name. After saving and testing, the result is exactly as expected. Let's move on to the distinct function. This function returns an array with all duplicate values removed, ensuring that each value appears only once in the collection. For example, if we use distinct on an array with the values A, B, and A, it will return an array containing just A and B, removing the duplicate entry. Let's test this by removing duplicates from an array. The result is exactly as expected. That concludes our guide on collections functions. Thanks for following along, and I look forward to seeing you in the next guide. Take care.